So the Four of Cups is like boredom, being in an emotional stasis. It's like being so focused on the things that are in front of you that you can't see what's being offered to you. And it's one of those cards where you have to ask yourself, do I really want this? Do I need it? Or are you sitting around waiting for something better to come along? So, you know, it's good to see the Knight and the King of Wands falling out for you guys, with that being the overall energy, but it's saying that something is it almost feels like it's not good enough. What you're looking at right now in your life just isn't good enough. You're wanting something more. And then with the Four of Cups and impasse, immediately it's like, it's almost like you're blocking yourself emotionally, you know? And then the other thing with the Four of Cups is you can't sit around and wait for something better to come along, you know? And technically what's being offered there is the Ace of Cups. Now, you are coming in with judgment. Judgment, hearing the call, hearing the calling of your soul's true path, and being okay with the past. I like Judgment and then the World and the Fool, and I say it every time it shows up because the whole sequence speaks about reincarnation, and you can't move forward and restart again if you're not okay with the past. You know, it truly is the wake-up call. Like, out of that boredom, it's time to go after what you truly want. And then what is crossing you is the Ten of Cups, and what you truly want is emotional fulfillment and domestic bliss. And what I worry about here is that maybe some of you are receiving that wake-up call that maybe, you know, what's going on in your home life just isn't, it's like you're either not seeing it or it's not enough for you. But, you know, I'd like to think that you're hearing the wake-up call, that, you know, you're getting out of this feeling of boredom and wanting to have that emotional fulfillment and that happy home life. And the conscious mind is focused on the Ace of Pentacles, which is perfect. This is basically you getting a brand new opportunity to get some security in your life. The Pentacles have to do with our earthly possessions and money and work and things like that, but I like to see the Pentacles as security in your life. And again, the big thing with this deck is you can't let those opportunities pass you by, but with the conscious mind being focused on that, you know, again, it's you wanting it and wanting to take that opportunity, but that Four of Cups, you know, are you gonna pass it up? The subconscious mind is focused on the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, there's definitely some opportunities here for you to have some financial gain and some security. When I see the Knight of Pentacles, I automatically think of methodical, slow planning. This is different than the Knight of Wands, where, you know, you're just going with it, right? The Knight of Swords is taking direct action. This is taking action, but on a much slower pace. Again, methodical planning, like slow-paced planning on how to create that emotional fulfillment and really take advantage of that Ace of Pentacles. But, you know, I'm wondering here what caused that feeling of the Four of Cups, because that being the overall energy, I mean, yeah, you know, you could look at it as that's the catalyst for the changes that are happening now, but, you know, I don't know, there's still this worry here that maybe what's going on in the home life just, I almost feel like it's just not as fulfilling as you hoped it to be, you know? And it's like now you're wanting to change things. But, you know, you're being more mindful about how you're doing that. It's not like you're just charging into something here. You know, but then with the Knight of Wands, again, it's your passions. The past coming through, and this is perfect to see. This tells me that you're going through some healing, or that you will be going through some healing. Seeing the star is perfect. It's perfect. You know, this is like having your wishes fulfilled as well as like the Nine of Cups, but the star has more to do with like hope for the future and having that healing I like seeing that, especially with the Four of Cups sitting there, because you pulling that from the past, I mean, that's a pretty powerful card to have, especially next to Judgment. It's like, there's the other part too where I feel like, if you're setting goals for yourself right now to like create some more bliss in your domestic life, you're really putting in some planning here. And it's like you're wanting to create some security, not just emotional fulfillment, but security as well. And Judgment is like saying that, you had a wake up call almost out of that Four of Cups. Like, oh, I'm just so bored with family life and my attention is somewhere else and I'm not seeing, the emotional fulfillment and the bliss. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, and here you start planning. You're making plans here, Your next move, and that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Strength. So, seeing strength immediately says to me that you have guidance. Between the star and strength, absolutely. But again, this is about having that inner strength. The inner strength and the courage to take on all of the challenges that are in your path. So this being your next move is telling you to tap into that inner strength and your inner power. I love Aries because you guys, again, you remind us to live in the moment. You're constantly seeking those new adventures and doing these new things, and you don't do it half-assed. It's like on a grand scale. And you have this feeling of, you win some, you lose some, but you're always like on the move to the next. But I really feel like what you're wanting here is some security and some emotional fulfillment. And there's like this wake-up call happening. And then seeing the star coming through, perfect. The star and strength and Judgment, I mean, look at it. That's no joke. And here you are, like, really wanting to make some serious plans here. Between this and Discipline, that's perfect. It's perfect. I just think that, with the Four of Cups, that, again, with what you're pulling in the Oracle cards, if you feel like you hit a block, you can't, you have to stick to the commitments that you're setting for yourself through your wake-up call. You can't just like lack on it and be like, oh, well, and then move on to the next, because I really feel like if you put in the work that you need to put in here, you're going to achieve this feeling of emotional bliss. Now, the way that you see yourself and the way that others view you. The Five of Cups. And again, with the Four of Cups, you're too focused on what is not enough for you. And the message here again is that not all is lost. So there's some, and it's no wonder why the Ten of Cups is crossing you with the Four of Cups being the overall energy. It's almost like you have some emotional pain involving home life. Like it just isn't enough and it's causing emotional blah. Right? And that's like the way that you're coming off right now. But with everything that's going on here, I mean, it's like the universe hears you, it's like your pain is recognized here, obviously because you're being seen this way. But you really need to take advantage of, opportunities that are coming through to you to create that emotional bliss and that security. Like you need to hear that call. Strength in the star is saying that we can heal this pain and we have the courage to move forward into this domestic emotional bliss. Your subconscious mind is telling you we can do the planning here. It may be slow going, but if you put in the effort here, it's definitely attainable. And again, discipline, stick to your commitments. Impasse definitely goes for the 4 and the 5. It's like being emotionally hurt and then going into like this like funk. And like, oh, I'm done with this, Being too focused on the 3. And then you have the 2 and the 5 and the Ace and the 4. And then the 10 of Cups is what's crossing you. So yeah, whatever is going on in your home life right now has got you in a mood, is what I feel like. But you have the ability to change the situation. I mean, you've got some heavy hitters coming through. But it's going to be up to you to really stick to the plans that you set for yourself when it comes to achieving that and getting out of that. Because that's too much. And again, Aries, being stuck on emotional issues is no good. It's no good because it's like you're not the type to sit and dwell on it. You don't want to dwell on that kind of shit. But the problem is that if you don't deal with it and then you jump into the new adventure, you're bringing it with you. And it's like bringing disaster into the new things you're trying to manifest, you know? So definitely there's going to be like this wake-up call here that's involving your emotions in your home life. You know, strength as your next move is, again, saying you need to tap into that inner strength. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. That's no good. It's no good. This being in your environment, not only do you have the mental, but you have the emotional backing now. The Nine of Swords is all the mental shit that we do to ourselves. It's that despair, the regret, the sleepless nights. It's no good. It's no good. And then there's emotional backing right underneath it. Again, you know, there's something going on in your heart and in your home. You have an opportunity here to change a situation with the Ace of Pentacles for sure. And then the Knight of Pentacles is just saying that, again, the subconscious mind knows better. And with discipline, absolutely, those two are telling you that if you really stick to the plans that you set for yourself, you can correct this issue, especially with the star coming through. But something in your heart and home is no good right now. It's like making you feel like shit. And it's not enough. With the Four of Cups, it's not enough. There's this immediate feeling of there's got to be something better. There has to be. And then having the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands show up. Man, I gotta have some wine. I don't know, this is one of those ones that's like dragging me in emotionally because I'm feeling it. Oh my God, am I feeling it? But you can change this. And the star is saying that there's healing available to you. You can tap into that. And tap into your inner strength and your inner guidance when it comes to getting away from this shit. Man, oh man, Aries. It's like your conscious mind is wanting to focus on something else completely, and I feel like it has to do with money rather than, you know, the emotional shit that's going on in your home. But with the Knight of Pentacles and what's going on, you know, if you're wanting to change that and create more security for yourself, you have to stick to the plans that you set for yourself. My goodness. Your hopes and your fears, the Four of Pentacles. But immediately, you know, because I'm not seeing anything here that says that you're going to be hurting financially. That to me is saying that it's like you're going to hang on to this shit here. Why are you hanging on to it? If it's no good for you and it's not fulfilling you and you're left with this feeling of emotional pain, mental pain, and boredom, why are you hanging on to it? It being in your hopes and your fears tells me that you have a fear of continuing to do the same thing, and this being the result. That emotional and mental shit. It's, oh man, this is frustrating. There's definitely something going on in the home life, for sure. But you're going to hit a wake-up call. And it's going to be up to you to get yourself out of that situation. But I feel like with the Four of Pentacles and you hanging on to it is like for security reasons, almost. Like you're wanting to stay with it because it's what you know. But why? You know, again, with it being in the hopes and your hopes and fears, it's like you fearing that you're just going to stay with it. Man, oh man. And the outcome, the Seven of Cups. So you have options. You have options. There are things that you can choose to do here to correct the situation. The big thing here with the Seven of Cups is you have to make a choice. and go with it. You know, and it's funny because it's the same thing with the Four of Cups. If you're being offered something better, you need to take it and run with it. And it's the same thing with the Seven. You can't sit around and look at all these options and think, well, if I do this, then I'll miss out on this, or if I do that. And, you know, you can't do that to yourself. You need to choose what you're going to do about this situation here. You know, you can't allow yourself to be in that kind of situation where you have your head in the clouds and you can't make a clear decision. Also, the important thing with the Seven of Cups is that you have to look at what it is that you need rather than what you want. What you want may be creating this shit here. And maybe what you need is to take a different path to find that emotional bliss and that security. Man, oh man. So, you know, again, with the subconscious mind and discipline, absolutely, you need to stick to the commitments that you set for yourself. When it comes to hitting that wake-up call, when it comes to this shit here, because these two together are no good. They are no good. I hate fucking seeing them back to back like that. And then having the Four of Cups as the overall energy, no. Bullshit. I call bullshit. That King and the Knight of Wands is saying that no, you need to tap back into who you are and follow your passions and be wise. You know, the wake-up call. Hearing that wake-up call. And with the Star and Strength, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You have guidance working with you, you know. This is one of those things where if you really start to take advantage of this here and you put in the work, that's where the universe starts to shift itself for you so that you can get out of this. But we're going to pull a clarifier on that Seven of Cups. The Fool, needing to take a leap of faith into something new. And again, you know, the Four of Cups, right? That Ace of Cups is what's being offered. You've got the Ace of Pentacles as what your conscious mind is being focused on. So if you're wanting security and emotional fulfillment, you need to take a leap of faith and go for it. You know, and next to the Seven of Cups, again, go with what you choose. But you need to choose what is going to be good for you as far as what you need rather than what you want. Because, you know, again, there's this feeling of what you want is just shitty. It's shitty. And then the Four of Pentacles and impasse. I feel like, you know, these two are saying that if you hit a block, you can't just, you know, I feel like if you hit a block, you're going to get to this moment where you're like, fuck it. And you're just going to stay with the same shit. You're just going to keep hanging on to that emotional and mental bullshit. They suck and they suck ass. And it's painful to look at with the Ten of Cups being there and then Judgment. It's like, man, you know, you hit a realization that what's going on in your home life just isn't right. It's not quite right. The Star is saying that you can have healing out of this. There will be healing. But you got to let go of the shit that's holding you back. And Strength is saying that you can do this. Your subconscious is really driving the message home that, you know, if you really lay down some plans for yourself here and stick to them, that it may be slow going, but you can achieve what you're wanting, security and emotional fulfillment.